So we'll actually, before we hop to the next slide, we did have a poll on that last slide, and basically we just want to get a sense of, you know, whether or not you're currently using a managed services service to kind of supplement and support your ServiceNow instance, whether it's through Fruition, another partner, ServiceNow, whoever else. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll now. Let me know. Hopefully everybody can see this. If you can't, send me something in the chat box or the question box, but I'll just go ahead and read the question out loud. So are you a current managed services customer of Fruition's, another partner, or ServiceNow? And then the options are just yes, no, I don't know. So we'll give everybody, you know, 10 more seconds to vote, and we'll go ahead then and share the results with everybody. So thank you to those who are voting currently. So we'll go ahead and close it up. And we'll share these results with you after the webinar if you'd like. So I'm sure it is always helpful kind of to have a sense of, you know, where you kind of, again, stack up against, you know, fellow peers in the industry. So we'll close that up, sharing the results. So 63% of you voted. Thank you to those 63%. So again, the question was, are you a current managed services customer of Fruition's, another partner of ServiceNow? 60% said yes, 30% said no, and then 10% said I don't know. So I'll go ahead and hide those, and then pass it back to Dan to continue with this presentation.
Interesting. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Okay, so let's kind of move on to what are some of the challenges we see day in and day out as we kind of work with, you know, customers and prospects in the ServiceNow community around supporting and maintaining, you know, their environments. So we kind of came to the conclusion of these kind of main four headers here. The first one is quick adoption. So dynamic and high-value platform quickly outstrips the delivery capacity of in-house support teams. You know, what this means is, you know, there's just so much going on after a customer goes live. Customers start realizing the power of the platform. You know, they start getting enhancement requests and requests for projects and things like that. Customers want, you know, different, you know, areas of IT or non-IT want their, you know, their item in the service catalog, or want their own workflow or their own custom application, things like that. And that's really where we see, you know, customers getting behind on enhancement requests and maybe defects, things like that. It kind of outstrips their support capacity. Broad and variable tools, so there's broad potential and frequent upgrades, place heavy architecture, design, and governance burden on platform owners. So like I said, there's so much going on, like I said in the previous topic, that it's important to have that architecture oversight and governance set up on, you know, on top, kind of wrapped around your ServiceNow platform. So you're not just going in and you know, make sure you have the proper coding standards and things are implemented in the correct manner and things like that. Diverse stakeholders, diverse set of stakeholders, you know, IT and non-IT alike, requires complex role and platform maintenance. So now, as you know, I mean, this is a, you know, very powerful, you know, platform as a service where you can build, in essence, build anything you want on top of the platform. So, you know, that involves having, you know, requires having, you know, proper roles to support the tool, not just having a system administrator, but having the proper architecture oversight, having proper, you know, development resources and support resources, and resources to do testing and things like that. And last, certainly not least, is the young, fast ecosystem. Dynamic ecosystem makes it hard to grow, maintain, and retain internal expertise. You know, we're seeing that a lot with our customers and prospects, where there is a super high demand for ServiceNow talent out there in a very low supply. So it makes it hard for, you know, customers to attract and retain talent. So what's the solution to this? It's Fruition Managed Services. So let's do a little bit of take a tour of our new premium option. So like I talked about a few slides ago, so our new premium option is truly your complete outsourced solution for supporting and maintaining and enhancing your ServiceNow environment. Included in that, if we look on the left-hand side with these arrows, there's enhanced SLAs. So there's, so with the service, you're not bogged down by how many hours do I have, things like, a staff aug kind of setup. You truly are in a managed service where there are, SLAs that we are held to. In addition, with the support comes fruition having a 24/7 shop for, your priority 1, priority 2 type issues that may come in to kind of play that role of supporting your environment, overnight, working with ServiceNow if there's any issues, things along those lines. In addition, you will have the option to, select how many enhancement hours you want to work with. So you're not just, the baseline fee for maintaining your environment and supporting it, but also, let's keep building upon it, enhancing it, and things like that. You as customers know that you're probably getting, left and right all sorts of enhancement requests from your users. So it's important to keep building upon it, to have that, have your users, keep being excited about the tool. All of our resources are obviously ServiceNow certified, not only through the ServiceNow certification program, but also through Fruition's own internal accreditation service that all of our resources go through before they're put on any clients. And over to the right, if you look, these are kind of the kind of headers of all the different things that are included within the service. So all the activities that are performed, and we'll do a deep dive of each one of these in further slides. So application support and maintenance, user support, so fixing issues, fixing incidents, responding to, your callers, and things like that around the ServiceNow platform. Proactive services, that involves testing for upgrades, releases, customer relationship management, and obviously notification of any performance issues and failures. We'll play the role of working with ServiceNow and those sort of things. Architecture oversight, or architecture services, so the complete oversight of your environment, not only from designing enhancements and looking at your incidents that are coming in against your ServiceNow tool, any defects, things along those lines, but also oversight around projects that are coming in, projects you may have going on in a separate stream, where your Fruition architect will kind of play both roles, not only on the support side, but also for any project-based work and that sort of thing going on at the same time. And then application enhancements. So any improvements you're doing to the tool are included in the premium service as well. So this slide, I'm not going to go through this in great detail, but I just want to kind of make you aware of all the different roles and activities that are needed to manage your ServiceNow environment. It's not just, we have a sysadmin and we're good. I mean, there's a lot, when you're talking about a very powerful platform that involves a multitude of different roles. And these are the roles that are these are the roles and activities that are included in the services that in the Fruition, premium managed services. So not only from the account management side, obviously the environment management is like I've been talking about with your architecture oversight, where they're monitoring the incident queue and oversight of all development, tier 3 support, and that sort of thing. Service delivery management. So that's kind of your overall, team lead who's managing the development and support queues, working with you on making sure, everything is running smoothly, working with providing any reports, metrics, and also, the central point of contact with the customer. Release management. So, with this service, we are, in essence, doing your releases for you. So we're fixing any defects, we're, developing any enhancements, and we're getting you on a release schedule, and we're, providing that role for you. We're doing the communications to to you and to your users on upcoming releases, what's involved, what's entailed, that sort of thing. Testing services, so management and performance of all QA regression testing for releases and upgrades. So we're performing that service for you. And this is a key point when talking about mainly around upgrades, where it's a seamless turnkey service that's just bundled into this premium offering. Support services, so any incidents, defects, things like that come in against your ServiceNow environment, we're the ones that are kind of working through those, getting those resolved. If they're defects, we're passing them on the development team to do any defect fixing, getting them bundled into a release and that sort of thing. Development kind of speaks for itself. We're doing all development for enhancements, defect fixing. They're kind of playing the role at tier 2, tier 3 support as well. And then working with any problems that may come in. Business analysis, so working with you guys with the customer to gather requirements, documentation, any report development, any training needs, and then obviously sending out release notes and all communications to the customer. And then last but not least, any CMDB work that needs to be done. As part of any CMDB, there's a lot of, it can be a lot of maintenance and just updates, manual updates, things along those lines. Do we have another poll, Mike?
Yes, we do. And again, guys, any questions, feel free to type those in the question box. Now would be a good time. Kind of had a period of rest here. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and fire up the next poll question. So the next poll question is just asking, what's the size of your internal team that currently supports and manages your ServiceNow instance? So again, emphasis on internal team, not outsourced. So options are 0 to 1, 2 to 3, 4 to 5, more than 5, and then I don't know. So we'll give everybody about 10 more seconds, and then we'll go ahead and share the results. All right, so we'll go ahead and close that up. So it looks like we had about 60% vote. Thank you. Sharing the results. So here you go. So for those, again, who can't see, read this out loud. So again, the question was, what's the size of your internal team that is currently supporting your ServiceNow instance? So 11% said 0 to 1, 56% said 2 to 3, 22% said 4 to 5, 11% said 5 plus, and then nobody voted for I don't know. So that's good that everybody is aware of the size of their team. So we'll go ahead and hide those. And thanks again for everybody for participating, and I'll pass it back to Dan to keep moving on here.
Good stuff. Thanks, Mike. Okay, so now if you want to look at here, the true value revealed, this is where we kind of do talk a little bit more in depth of what's included in this service. So if we look at application support and maintenance, and then over to the right, the premium plan, these are all the things that are kind of covered for you as part of this service. So we're fixing application errors, we're doing any application recovery, after any incidents that come in, doing any data archiving, deletion, retention, retrieval. That stuff typically isn't done in the ServiceNow environment, but it's covered if needed. We're doing consultation with you, release management and coordination. So like I was saying earlier, we're managing all releases for you. We're getting you on a release schedule. We're doing all the development and defect fixing, of course. So we'll kind of manage all that, the coordination, the communications as well. Support of any third-party apps. So example would be like Bomgar or Twilio, where you have may have some third-party apps that are integrated inside of the ServiceNow tool. We'll kind of do the the minimal support that we can do on those applications, and then also more importantly, we'll obviously we need to log a ticket with Bomgar, things like that. We will kind of play that role as well. And then supporting in your dev and test environments. From user support services, so this is where, you know, we're kind of responding to any incidents and requests that come in. So whether it be, you know, an approval went to the wrong manager, you know, those kind of incidents that come in, to things that come in that we may flag as a defect that may have to go to a developer to fix and get bundled into release, to requests that come in. So, you know, adding users to groups, role maintenance, you know, things along those lines around user administration or CI updates, those kind of requests that come in that aren't really kind of labeled as incidents. Password resets would be another one. So responding, resolving, tracking through incident resolution, getting them closed out, making sure that the customer is good, and then obviously doing any trend analysis. So those kind of things are all kind of bundled in to the premium plan. And I just wanted you to compare, you know, the basic, if you're familiar with the virtual admin service, you know, some of these are checked. Remember the virtual admin service, you are kind of, that's more of an hours-based service where you subscribe to an allotment of hours, and you can direct you can direct how you want us to use those, how you want to use those hours. With the premium plan, you're basically paying a monthly fee, and it's all just covered for you. So they're not limited to, you know, amount of hours, you know, things like that. You're basically in essence handing the keys over to us, and we will manage it for you for a monthly fee. So proactive services, so notification of failures or performance issues. So we'll kind of, you know, play that lead role if there's any issues with your ServiceNow environment, working with ServiceNow, creating the high ticket, you know, running the conference bridge, things along those lines. You know, we'll kind of play that role. Customer relationship management, so just working with you on, you know, quality, you know, metrics, things along those lines. And then ServiceNow upgrade regression testing. I put that in red just because it's kind of, you know, it's kind of a hot topic where, you know, that's a seamless service that's bundled into the premium plan, where we'll do all your regression testing and all your upgrade communications and defect fixing and rollout for you. Architecture services, so included in the premium plan is an annual health check. So a fruition architect, not involved in the day-to-day architecture of your, or in support of your environment, will come in on an annual basis and do a health check to make sure that things are chugging along smoothly and that sort of thing. Solutioning and designing enhancement requests. So this is important, where, you know, we will help you, you know, meet with your users and your process owners and your requesters of enhancements to help design, you know, enhancements that they may be requesting. So it's one thing for them to have an idea, but it's another for us to come to you and offer up some suggestions. What's best practice? What's out of the box? You know, we don't want to develop ourselves into a corner, that sort of thing. So we'll come to you with a couple of different options for, say, for a certain enhancement and our recommendation for that enhancement as well. And then ServiceNow upcoming release overview. So, you know, when Calgary's came out or when Dublin's coming out, you know, what does that involve? What does that mean for my ServiceNow environment? You know, that's where we can step in and have that call with you and demo, more importantly, to go over what's included, what's upcoming in the upcoming release, demo that for you, see if it's something we may be interested in turning on, or, you know, does it involve a project, things like that. So that all the above that I just talked about is kind of included, like I said, in your baseline services, in your baseline fee. And then from there, the only thing that's additional is enhancements, so application improvement, i.e. Application development. So how many hours do you want dedicated for development? And this is where you can choose a monthly allotment or you know, a bucket of hours. And you can use those for development and defect fixes. And then you know, that will allow you to have access to the developer resources to do those for you. So think about it, and then that comes, and then what that is, you add that amount up plus your baseline fee, and that kind of gives you your monthly fee for the premium managed services for the complete outsourcing. With the basic plan, obviously you're choosing how many hours you want to buy, and then you can direct how you want to use them. And this last slide here just kind of talks through some hybrid models that we've done for some other customers. So maybe they don't fit the basic, the virtual admin service, and maybe they don't want to completely outsource to fruition. But here's something that's maybe something in the middle. So here's a couple of different solutions that we've done for some other customers. And if you look here on the left-hand side, the hybrid model 1, in the green area is where it's fruition owned. So it's a kind of a having that architecture type service that you can completely outsource to fruition is something that was greatly important to this customer, where they had they had some developers, they had some sysadmins, things like that. They did testing, but they wanted fruition to completely own the architecture oversight of their environment. And then everything else was a collaborative type of setup where they want us and their resources to work jointly to do support, to do development. But the architecture, they wanted to completely outsource because they don't have architecture resources on site. That's obviously, those kind of resources are in high demand, very hard to find, and that sort of thing. The second option is where the customer wanted us to completely own all architecture and all development. So, that's, they felt like that's Fruition, two of Fruition's, bread and butter activities. They didn't want to go through the initiative of hiring anything internally, but they wanted to do some stuff on their side as well. So they want to do very general light support, user administration type of activities, and then they wanted to be responsible for releases and testing for upgrades and that sort of thing. So these are just kind of two hybrid models that are interesting. They're very successful. Customers are very happy with them. They work. That's kind of in the middle between the basic plan, which is an hour's subscription that you direct us how you want to use them, to the premium plan, which is the complete outsourced solution. So I kind of thought you guys would be interested in seeing these models as well. Do we have a final poll, Mike?
Yeah, one last poll, guys, and then we can take any questions or wrap things up. So last poll question for the day is, go ahead and launch it right now. What area do you need the most help in, or what area do you think you need the most help in? And our options are support, and this is a multiple answer type question, so you can check as many boxes as you would like. So there's support, upgrade testing and coordination, application development for enhancements and defects, architecture oversight, and then all the above. So just because this one's a little ordier and requires maybe a little more thinking before answering, we'll give everybody a few more seconds here to answer. So thanks for sticking around, guys, and hanging with us today. So we'll give it another 10 seconds. All right. So we'll go ahead and close that up, and then we'll share the results. So what area do you need the most help in? And we had about 50% vote, so thank you. 0% for support, 25% said upgrade testing and coordination, 100% said application development for enhancements and defects, and then 75% said architecture oversight. So as part of the follow-up, webinar follow-up process, we will share these poll results with you just so you can have it on hand for reference. So I'll go ahead and hide those results. And I'm actually going to go ahead. So like we said at the beginning of the webinar, this was going to be a short, abbreviated version. We know, again, everybody has other more important things to handle today. So half hour, we're on the closing slide now. So I'm going to go ahead and check the question box. And if we don't have any questions, we'll go ahead and let everybody go. So we'll give everybody a couple more minutes to think of questions if you have any. In the meantime, I'll just, again, thank everybody for joining us today. We'll definitely, as we have always done, we'll share the recording of this webinar with you along with the PDF of the deck. I would expect that probably a week from now. So be on the lookout for that email. Also, note our next webinar is November 21st, and we will be covering Unified Service Delivery and ServiceNow, and specifically taking a close look at HR case management. So if you're not sure what Unified Service Delivery is, it's basically a model for extending the value of service management and the ServiceNow platform beyond IT. And kind of unifying processes across multiple business units, including, IT, HR, facilities, et cetera. So this is actually the first in a 5-part series of webinars. So again, we're going to take a close look at HR case management first. We'll take a look at some real-world case studies, so it should be a good one. You'll see there's a screenshot here on the screen to help you kind of navigate to that webinars page. So it's under the main resources menu in the main nav bar. So if you'd like more details on the Unified Service Delivery webinar, or are curious to see, what other webinars we've done in the past, go ahead and go to that webinars page. So I'm going to go ahead and check the questions box again. It looks like we don't have anything in. So we're going to go ahead and let everybody go. So thanks again for joining. If you have any questions specific to managed services, you'll see Dan's information up on the screen, email and phone number. If you have any questions about anything else specific to service management or anything, you can go ahead and send us an email to info@fruitionpartners.com. You'll see our social media handles are up there as well, so if you'd like to follow us on Facebook or Twitter, go ahead and write those down. But again, keep in mind this PDF will be shared, so you will have all this information available to you soon and on hand. So we'll let you guys go. So thanks again. No questions. Hope to see you guys at our next webinar in a few weeks. Take care.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.